Hi guys, it's Noah from Surge Notify here, and today I'm going to show you possibly the best scalping strategy that you can use in the financial markets to make thousands of pounds every month. This is such a simple strategy that anyone could do it. You could teach your grandma in a matter of 5 minutes. What I'd suggest you trade this on is NASDAQ, so NAS100, but you can also apply it onto other pairs such as Euro USD, GBP USD, etc. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to dive straight into it, talk you through it step by step, and then we're going to back test and have a look at how it would have performed over the last few weeks. So this model is what I like to know as the 9 a.m. model. So you want to make sure that you're on New York time zone, and what we're going to be using is 9 a.m. is when we take a trade and we use the 8 a.m. candle as our high and low range. If we follow that already, we are coming over to our 8 a.m. candle, taking the high, and we are taking the low. And then straight from there, we're dropping down onto our 1 minute chart and we're zooming in and seeing what's happened. As we can see, we've opened at 9 a.m. This is the 8 a.m. low, 8 a.m. high. We've come down, we've swept the low, and then we moved up to the high. Now this is so simple. All we're going to be looking at is taking an inverse fair value gap, which a lot of you will know if you've watched our other videos, and simply setting, once we close above it, a buy limit with our stop loss and our take profit. And that's as simple as that. As you can see, a 1 to 1.6 risk to reward straight from the off go there. And you can see that this trade hit profit in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. Super quick, super simple, and extremely profitable. On to our next trade, we're going to go back and have a look here. Now, this was Friday, this was Thursday. One thing we need to bear in mind is that in some cases we will have news, and it's up to you to go back test and have a look and see, okay, which news events are tradable, which ones aren't. Are all of them tradable? Are none of them tradable? And you go from there. So once again, we take the high of 8 a.m. and then take the low. And what we'll do, we'll come down, have a look on the 1 minute time frame. And once again, what do we have going on? So as you can see, we take out the low at 9 a.m. and all we're waiting for is for an inverse fair value gap. As you can see, we respect this fair value gap, push down and then push up. Unfortunately, we are unable to get an entry because price does not come back to our limit. But once again, you would have made a 1-to-1 risk to reward if we were to be tapped in. But as you can see, we move down, sweep the low, sweep the high. Now, let's carry on. So going back to Wednesday now, and let's have a look. 8 a.m. Here we are. So we are taking the high, taking the low, and let's have a look at how this performed. So once again, onto the 1 minute time frame, and now we can see what's going on here. We push up, we have our fair value gap here, we come down. Unfortunately, this one here comes back up. What you could do though, because we are scalping and we're on a very low time frame, instead of having our stop loss very tight like this with only 0.05%, you can double the stop loss, give us a bit of breathing room, and you're still able to achieve a 1 to 2.7 risk to reward. And look at how fast that move down is. Once again, if you are to change your stop loss instead of having such a tight stop loss, which you will want to do because spreads and slippage will eat you up if you have a tight stop loss. So increase it, double the stop loss, and you are there achieving 1 to 2.75 roughly. So as you can see from that, we have had 1 win, 1 no trade, and then another win. So 2 wins currently, no losses. Now let's continue back Tuesday, and once again we have the 8 a.m. candle high and the 8 a.m. candle low, and let's have a look at what's going on here. So on the 1 minute time frame, as you can see, this again is a no entry, unfortunately, but you can see once again the strategy working. We push up, we push down, and we take out the low once we've taken out the high. What you could have done is you could have set your entry and it still would have worked out, but that's not necessarily going to happen all the time. You know, I'm sure you'll be able to find other ways to ensure that you get an entry into this trade, whereas obviously some people haven't. So I'm going to do one more for you now, and then you can go back and back test this yourself. So for our last one, we have it here on Monday, and once again we'll drop into a lower time frame and see what's going on. We have a big push down, and it comes up to our profit target. If you were to enter in any of this area, it wouldn't have been the best, because as you can see, we had a big sweep down. But this is another thing, there was likely news at this point. In this example, we have our first loss. It will be good though to have a look to see if there's news at 9:30, which it looks like there might be. And this would be a good indicator for us to know, okay, if there's news at 9:30, we wait for the news to come out and then we take the trade. And as you can see, once again, if you were to wait till 9:30, we have a push down, then we flip, and then we come up to the high. And this limit might not get tapped, but if you were to trade fair value gaps instead, you see that is filled, and that runs for a 1 to 3.7. So I'm not giving you a perfect strategy here that you can make millions from, but it's a very, very good base that you can go away, go and practice and make your own. We'll have a look at this one now. Once again, another trade, 8 a.m. high and low, and then we look at 9 a.m. and see what's going on. And here we have, again, the market is repeating itself. Takes out the 8 a.m. low, comes out and takes the 8 a.m. high. Unfortunately, again, in this example, there's no entry. But what you can do, looking at this, you can go, oh, I could just market execute here and have a tighter stop loss, and that's still a 1 to 1.6. Or you do market execute. In some examples, your risk to reward is not going to be higher than 1, but is that necessary? Sometimes your risk reward is not going to be higher than 1, but is that necessary when you have a strategy like this that is winning the majority of the time? And that's a question for you to ask yourself. We'll do a few more here, and then I'll call it a day on this video. And I really do hope that you've enjoyed this, because I feel like there is so much value in this video that you can take away and even just build your own strategy from. So what have we got going on here? We've got, once again, inverse fair value gap, entry, and then we're double the stop loss very simply. Go from 0.2 to 0.4 and then up to the high. And once again, that's pretty much a 1-to-1. It's another win. So have a think. Do I need to be making more than a 1 risk reward profit? Or can I be profitable with a negative risk reward? There are people who do it. There are definitely people who do it. There's no doubt about that. Now we'll have a look at our final one here and see what's going on. So this is a very small fair value gap. You need to also be selective about which ones you take and which ones you don't. This one potentially you could, but on some brokers this might not be a fair value gap. However, this one is quite a big fair value gap. And you also have this one here. But for the sake of the video, we will trade off of this small one, which, that's how small it is. It's tiny. I wouldn't trade off this personally, but we'll have a look and see. This may be a loss in this situation. If we double the stop loss to 14, yeah, so we just get stopped out. But again, as you can see, we take out the high and move down to the low. You don't have to use the 1 minute time frame. You could look on the 3 minute time frame and see what's going on here. And as you can see on the 3 minute time frame, we push up. We have our first inverse fair value gap here that, as you can see, we tap into perfectly. Stop loss at the high. Now this is already looking like a huge trade, a 1 to 7. Double the stop loss just to be safe if you want, and you're still looking at a 1 to 3.5 risk to reward, which is huge, right? And that's on the 3 minute time frame. So what I'm trying to show you is the possibilities with this are endless. You can make thousands from the 1 minute or the 3 minute time frame. All you have to use is just the 8 a.m. high and the 8 a.m. low, and it's as simple as that. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.